Hey everyone, John DeFreitas here, local real estate agent with Sutton Group Summer Realty. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the Toronto vacant home tax that's been imposed on Toronto residents for this upcoming taxable year of 2023. So firstly, what is the Toronto vacant home tax? Well, essentially it's a tax that the City of Toronto is imposing on its residents if you own housing in the City of Toronto and it's not being occupied. So why are they doing this? Well, primarily because there's a shortage of housing in the City of Toronto, and this is a mechanism for them to try and open up properties that could be easily tenanted out to multiple renters to help alleviate some of that pressure. And any payments that are made to the vacant home tax are going to go directly to infrastructure related to new housing and affordable housing in the City of Toronto. So they see it as a win-win. So a little bit about the vacant home tax. The first thing you need to know is that you have to make a declaration on your property, whether it's vacant or not. And that declaration needs to be made by February 2nd of this year, so just under 1 month from today. If you don't make a declaration by that point in time, the first thing is you could be fined $250. But even more significant is if you don't make a declaration, the City of Toronto will assume that your property is a vacant property and you will be automatically imposed a tax on that property. How much can you expect to pay if you do own a vacant property in the City of Toronto? Well, according to their website, you can expect to pay 1% of your taxable assessed value of your home. So if your home is assessed at a $500,000 assessment on your tax bill, you can expect to pay $5,000. It's not insignificant. It's a significant amount of money. So now on to making a declaration. So you have a property in the City of Toronto and you want to make a declaration, or for that matter, you know somebody who owns a property in the City of Toronto and you want to let them know about information on how to make a declaration. This video is great for you to share with them as well. Making that declaration, well, you can easily Google City of Toronto vacant home tax and it'll quickly take you to a site where you can just click the link and go to make your declaration, but you'll need two pieces of information. First, you'll need your 25-digit assessment roll number, and you can find that on your yearly tax bill statement. And you'll also need your customer number that's found on that same statement. So when you get there, you're going to be given a value of how you declare your property. You may have a vacant, it may be occupied, but there's a few other options. So let me take just a minute and tell you what those are. So obviously the first one is being an occupied property. You live there and you're going to register it and declare it as being owner occupied. The second could be occupied as a permanent occupant, but not the actual owner. So what does that mean? That means that you have a property, maybe that you have a family relative that's actually living there, or a friend. So it's not vacant, it's permanent. It's a permanent occupancy. Third could be a tenanted occupancy, and obviously that's a property you have that you're using as rental income, and you have it as tenanted, which is fine, and you can declare it as such. It could be a vacant property, and if it is a vacant property, then you obviously would have to be declaring it as vacant property. Now, under vacant property, there are some exemptions that you should be aware of. So let me take a second and tell you what some of those exemptions are. So if the property has been vacant for more than 6 months, and it's been vacant because of the fact that, well, the owner has passed away, then it's an exempt property. So you wouldn't have to be imposed that vacant property tax. If your property is under renovations or repairs for more than 6 months, and it's vacant, you also would not be imposed a vacant home tax. If you are the registered owner and you haven't occupied it for more than 6 months because you are in long-term care or some off-site care because of health, you would not be imposed a vacant home tax. If you're transferring legal ownership of that property, you also could be exempt from paying that vacant home tax. Finally, if you're occupying that property for employment purposes and you live outside of the Greater Toronto Area and it's being occupied for employment for more than 6 months, you would also be exempt from paying that property tax. And lastly, if the current property is under a court order and it prohibits it from being occupied, then you'd also be exempt that vacant home tax. So there's some information about the City of Toronto vacant home tax itself. Incredibly important you share this information, or you've made some mental notes on what you need to focus on. Please make sure you are declaring your property before February 2nd of this year to avoid any fines and, or even worse, a significant vacant home tax. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that information. I'm glad to reach out and provide you any more information you'd like to know about the City of Toronto vacant home tax or any real estate related information. I'm always happy to help out. Hope you enjoy that and hope to see you all soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.